gospel and personally. This witness was to go out to Jerusalem, then to Judea and Samaria, and then the uttermost parts of the earth. During the Jerusalem period, we saw that the gospel went to the Jews, and the church was 100% Jewish. No Gentiles. No Gentiles allowed. In fact, they weren't allowed in the actual temple area. I think they were allowed on Solomon's porch or something like that. During the next period, we saw the gospel go to the Samaritans, and we saw the conversion of some Gentiles. Now the gospel moves out officially on its way to the ends of the earth. On its way to the ends of the earth, the gospel came to my ancestors and to your ancestors. He points out that he's Welsh German, which is probably my sister did a DNA test, and we turned out to be Welsh uh, Scott. Scottish Welsh, I think is what she said. So we were barbarians, and he points that out. We were living like cavemen at this time. Today, you and I are the beneficiaries of the fact that someone went down the road of this world to bring the gospel to the end of the earth. You and I ought to be in the business of taking the gospel down beyond where we are to some who uh, have not heard, and that's another thing that that I missed. You and I ought to be in the business of taking the gospel down beyond where we are to some who have not heard the gospel. That's our business. It's not anything else. That's what we are here to do. Our purpose is to get out the word, get out the gospel. In this search of the gospel beyond the boundaries of Israel, we find that Paul becomes the dominant leader and Peter disappears. He disappears off the pages of the Bible into history from the scene. God had used him mightily. Now Paul is the dominant one whom God will use. As you will see by the map, there is a map if you, and probably if you go to through the Bible, that is uh, uh, ttb.com. Yeah, ttb.com, I think is what it is. We discussed this the other day. Um, Probably if you Google through the Bible, J. Vernon McGee, I think is how I found it the first time. He has notes and outlines, and I told you how to do that on one of the waycasts. I'm not going to do this now because there was a lot of moments of silence whenever I did that. But there is a map here in this commentary, and I'm sure that map is in his notes and outlines. And so, but basically, Paul begins his journey with Barnabas. The first stop is the island of Cyprus. It's in the middle of the Mediterranean. The home of Barnabas. I think they were considered to be a little on the barbaric side. So anyway, they crossed the island, then set sail for Paphos to go over to Perga in Pamphylia. Then they enter the interior of Asia Minor, which is now Turkey, and go into the Galatian country. They visit Antioch, which is not the Antioch they left, but it's another Antioch. Iconium, Lystra, and Derbe. Then they return through to Leah and then sail back to Antioch. And so, like I said, you can look that up and see if you can find the map. If you can't, let me know. And if you really want it, I will figure out, I will find